El Meezy, thanks for coming on, my man.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. It's been a while, but looking forward to it, man. Let's
Yo,
let's get it going.
you got that good San Diego tan too. I'm jealous.
Now, bro, I was just looking at myself in the mirror the other day, and I was like, "Oh, I look pale. I need some sun, like some real sun." So maybe there's a trip on the horizon. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I need to get out there for my trip. But no, this podcast, so man, I'm trying to help people achieve their goals through adversity. And tell me if I'm wrong, but it was 2005. It's going into my senior year. You already graduated. No, 2006. So you already graduated. You're in the NFL. You were with the Cleveland Browns. They cut you. So you're at Toledo coaching with us. We fly out to Fresno to play Fresno. Toledo does. And you're on that plane and you get off the plane and the Saints call.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was 2005 because my senior year was '04. Uh, with the Browns, free agent, get cut. What am I going to do? CFL's calling. Do I go back to school? Am I going to wait? Am I going to be going and doing a bunch of workouts? And the most logical thing for me was, hey, let me get back to school. Let me get somewhere where I can train for free. Maybe get back on scholarship so I can be making a little bit of money and then kind of prepare myself for what could be happening or what I was hoping would happen. And yeah, get a call from the Saints. They say, hey, you have a 5 o'clock a.m. flight the next day. And all I had was a backpack with one change of clothes and my toiletry bag. So
And
that
that's
was it just happened so fast, and thankfully it was the right place, and I made the most of my opportunity.
well, can't wait to hear more of your story, my man. Leading to the Super Bowl champ, big 2-point conversion. I remember that. So let's get it cracking. Hey, I'm Bruce Gradkowski, founder of the Alpha 5 Method. We're going to be talking to some of my friends, former NFL players, other high achievers, entrepreneurs, people that have beat cancer. Those are the kind of people you're going to be hearing from on the Alpha 5 Method podcast. Now, I just want to back up too, because now you're sitting at home, you got 3 kids. They're all in school right now. I'm telling you, Marino, your little guy is like a little model. He's like a cartoon character. So how crazy are your days now, though, being retired and whatnot?
You know what? I like when the kids are at school, there isn't very much craziness. Obviously, you know that. It's like you get your time to yourself. There's a sense of peace that in the house, it's quiet and you can handle your business. Um, for me now, it's the craziness, I guess, is in career transition mode. I've dabbled in so many different things in the last 8 years since I retired from the media space, which I have 2 jobs currently in the media space: one digital media, one working for the NBC affiliate in New Orleans. The coaching, I still have high school kids that I coach from time to time, doing wide receiver training. The scouting. With the Saints, I did a couple of off seasons of not necessarily internships, but working with the Saints scouts and trying to get familiar with that, kind of part of the game, and to now finally realizing that, hey, man, I've got an opportunity to do something that is still connected to the game, while kind of giving back to the younger guys, serving as somewhat of a mentor in the space, and making money, and allowing myself the freedom to be able to stay in San Diego and be as present as possible with my kids, and being an agent now. So it's crazy having 3 jobs. Now it's not that crazy because I'm not. It's not like I'm 9 to 5 on all 3 jobs, but having responsibilities in 3 different places, and trying to break into the agent world. That's kind of where a majority of my time is devoted when my kids are at school, obviously, and then when they're home too. I've got things that I've got to handle. But this is like the cool crazy, this is being able to spend the time with my family and be present for as many things as possible for my children, while still venturing into a new space and trying to become the best version of myself in that world. That's kind of what my time is occupied by these days, and I guess some people would call it crazy, but I just feel like this is my new normal.
Well, you're enjoying the moment, and that's why I'm thankful you came on because you and I are best friends. You helped me tremendously throughout my career, making me look good at Toledo and all that, but more so off the field. In college, you're really growing as a young man, and you want the right people around you. And man, you helped me a ton because of your work ethic, the way you are, your personality, your habits, your discipline, all that it takes to be successful. And you bring up a great point because that's what like this Alpha 5 method is about. Like I was thinking over the years, like after I retired, I was stuck. Like what's next? You know what I mean? We've trained since we were kids, football, football, football. Football's done. It's kind of like now what? And this process is to help people achieve goals through adversity or help you get unstuck, help you figure out what is next and how do you figure that out. What do you think helped you like retiring and sitting
Mm.
back, like the lights aren't on you anymore? Um, and you're like, but I have to do something because just knowing you're a driven person, so you can't just sit at home. What do you think helped you the most once you were done?
Well, first and foremost, you made me look good at Toledo too, so I want to make sure that
Yeah,
everybody's aware of
appreciate that,
that.
dude.
It wasn't just like you were some bum and I was making crazy plays all over the place and like, man, that Gronkowski's great. But Lance Moore is so amazing. No, we it was we made each other look good. So I think that it took me time. I wasn't anybody that played football for the glam or the fame or anything like that. So when I was retiring, I wasn't in a space where I was going to be missing that per se, because there are guys that retire and they don't know what to do with themselves after the bright lights are gone.
Right.
Um, I didn't have a specific direction that I wanted to go in. I had some ideas about what I could do after I retired, but honestly, man, it's 8 years now. I'm finally figured out what it is that I want to do and kind of put my all into, because the other things that I dabbled in, I feel like I was good at them, but I wasn't driven by them. I wasn't moved. I wasn't really passionate. Even the media space, I feel like I'm really good at it, but it's just not something that, like, I'm not waking up every day like, man, I can't wait to go on TV today. Like that's
Right, right.
not what moves me. Um, I think that our relationship was unique, in that we came in at the same time to Toledo, and I was kind of thrust in a situation that I didn't want to be in, and I just kind of had to, tell myself like, just keep going, keep working, keep doing your thing, and eventually there will be the right type of opportunity. Your situation, you kind of had to wait your turn, and
Right.
I think it benefited you because you were definitely more ready when it was time for you to go in. Um, and I feel like you and I relationship was good enough and close enough that I could be somebody that you could come to and ask what I thought about a situation. And I think that my way of loving you was tough.
Hmm.
I was a tough lover with you. And I don't think I could have done that with everybody. But I knew that you had, the right type of stuff inside you to be able to take the tough love that I was giving to you. And like I say all that to say, I just think that toughness is important, for successful people. And I'm not
Well,
talking physical toughness. I'm talking the mental
mm,
fortitude and being able to take a situation that maybe is not ideal or something that you thought would happen and making the most of that situation. Preparation is important. Being able to seize the moment, when opportunity presents itself. And I think that, for me, all the things that I had to go through in my journey, have set me up to be able to have the opportunity to be successful now, post football. No situation that I'm going to run into is going to be too big, I don't think, because I'm prepared for this moment. I've had to hit enough speed bumps in my time to, kind of prepare me and give me and equip me with the tools that are necessary to be successful. And I look, I think anybody that's going to achieve great things or has aspirations to achieve great things, there's going to be speed bumps. How do you navigate and handle those speed bumps in your journey to get to where you want to get to?
Yeah.
And that to me is, I understand every situation is unique, but what are you going to do when shit hits the fan? I
Hmm.
mean, and with I don't have any better phrase for it, but I mean, like, that to me is one of the most important things that people are going to have to face on their journey to success.
Well, so many good points there because you went from, talking about the story about you getting cut by the Browns. You were undrafted, right? Had an amazing career at Toledo. You go undrafted. You're with the Browns trying to make the team. You get cut. So you talking about the toughness, the mental toughness, is huge. So I want to hit on that, but I also want to go back to, no, I appreciate you for the person you are, for the tough love, because I say it all the time. It's, you got to surround yourself with the right pack, with the right people. And when you say that, though, it's not like surround yourself with yes men and just people that agree with everything you're doing and want to do. It's people that are genuine and honest and can hold you accountable. And that was you. I mean, that was us. That was our group. Like, in Toledo molded me so much in that time to help me be prepared for the NFL or just be prepared for challenges, whether it was at Toledo trying to win a starting job or is trying to make the NFL or starting 11 games as a rookie. So take us through like one of your toughest moments in your career where you really had to dive into that mental toughness and that grit. Like, how did you persevere during those times? But maybe just a situation. Was it when you're with the Browns, you get cut, you're kind of in a flux, I don't know what to do. I'm going to work out. I'm going to kind of help coach. Let's see what happens. What's a situation with you that you really had to use that mental toughness, and how did you use it?
Yeah, look, I think that was a tough time, but I don't think that was the toughest. There was just so much uncertainty around, being new to the NFL. I'm a rookie. I'm not sure how it works. I don't know if teams are going to call me to sign me, to work me out, to sign me to the practice squad. I think while that was tough and while I got cut basically on my birthday by the Browns, I think that the next season, so 2006,
It would be the
Sean
Browns giving you a
Payton.
nice birthday gift
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
you know?
exactly, exactly. 2006, Sean Payton was the head coach. Drew Brees. I mean, everybody kind of knows the story. Hurricane Katrina was 2005, so the rebirth or the reopening of the dome in 2006, like, that was my second year. Had a great training camp, make the team, um, play in like 3 or 4 games, and then I get cut again.
Hmm.
And then they put me on the practice squad. And initially, I was just kind of like, okay, I understand. I've kind of been playing while Michael Lewis was preparing to come back. And now Michael Lewis was an all pro kickoff and punt returner. So, like, I understood that this guy's going to come back and somebody on the roster is going to get cut. I just was hoping that it wasn't me. I was hoping that maybe we'd have an extra
Right.
receiver and they cut somebody else. But it wasn't even being cut and put on the practice squad that was the toughest thing. It was the weeks that ensued. And I'm balling in practice every single day. I'm killing the starting defense like clockwork. And we had guys that were playing receiver that weren't necessarily balling out all the time. But I'm like, I'm literally doing this every single day to our starting defense. And like, there's not even an inkling that I would be back on the field anytime soon. And it really started to get to me halfway through the season, the latter parts of the season. And I'm like, why am I even here? And I wasn't necessarily questioning whether I wanted to still, be playing football or not, because obviously I did. But it was to the point where I was like, I had started writing, and I was like journaling my frustrations and
Mm.
my anger, and like, it really, I'm not a big writer and I had never done that before, but it really became somewhat therapeutic for me to just be able to write it down and kind of get my frustrations out so that I could get refocused and go back to work and make sure that I could control what I could control and worry less about the things that I couldn't control. Um, that to me really, really, like, it kind of refocused me and got me to the point where I was like, okay, if I don't play again this season, I am going to be 100% ready to go once we come back for off-season workouts and into the 2007 training camp. And that was, I think that was probably the toughest mentally for me, because I mean, every day I come home and I would just be like sick to my stomach. I'd be pissed off. I'd be like, how are they watching me do what I do every single day and not thinking, man, we should
Mm.
probably get this guy back on the field.
Right.
So that was definitely tough. And then I would say that, like, the second toughest thing was Super Bowl season 2009. I ended up missing 9 games from various injuries, and to miss so much of such a great season, that, like, crushed me. And I didn't really tell many people about it. I just was like, yeah, I'm all right. I'll come back when I get
Right.
back. But not being able to be one of the focal points, especially coming off of the year that I had in 2008. I mean, I basically had 1,000 yards. I had 10 touchdowns. I was the Saints leading receiver. I was the Saints offensive MVP. Like, it was like crazy that I had as much success and then I couldn't be on the field consistently. That kind of ate at me like crazy. But thankfully enough, I was able to get healthy to be able to kind of finish the season and play in the playoffs, play in the Super Bowl, make a couple of plays in the Super Bowl. But those are things that, like, when it was taken away, both situations, that's when I just really, really struggled mentally.
Well, and that's so interesting too. You talk about writing. I just had a guy on the other day that just beat cancer. They gave him 7 months to live, and he overcame it. And I'm like, how did you do that? Because I'm all about the mindset, right? Like your state of mind, being able to persevere, mentally tough, all that. But what's it take? What are the details within it, the habits you build? And so you journaling, he said he would write down his emotions, crumple it up, and throw it away. And I thought that was really cool. And you journaling, a lot of people, it's like you want to hide your feelings, or you got to ignore them. But no, actually, you got to accept what's going on, and you voicing that by writing it down is pretty cool. I mean, that's neat to hear. But it also seems like too, through your journey, it's almost like it's frustrating, because it's like whatever happens that day, you just got to wake up and do it again the next day. Like, it's almost like you can't get caught up on the success or failure of that day, because whether it's good or bad, you're waking up the next morning to do it all over again. And that's kind of where you were at on the practice squad, just balling out, making the team. But now you're like waiting for your reps and your time to come. But just talk about that moment when it did kind of all come together, and you're that guy. I mean, bro, 9 years with the Saints, 11 years overall. In the Saints, do they call it the Ring of Honor? What's their Hall of
Saints
Fame?
Hall of Fame. Saints Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like Toledo Hall of Fame, Saints Hall of Fame, like that's what's so cool to see, because I've seen your journey up close and personal. You had no scholarships coming out of high school. You were about to go to what, St. Francis, PA?
I did take a visit. I was never going to go to that school, though.
Man, like you're about to, you take a visit to St. Francis, PA. Next thing you know, yourself, me, our other buddies come in at Toledo, and how things work out. But it's just your mental toughness, your perseverance. But I believe too, what makes you successful is your habits and your discipline. Like, talk about that. Like, how, because people will say you have to be disciplined, but I feel like you have to build the right habits, because then it's almost like you don't have to think about it. It's a habit.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, I think it's all energy related and energy based. So, what is the type of energy that you're trying to exude or project or give off? For me, it was always, not always, because we just talked about the negativity that I dealt with, but for the most part, it was always positive, and I was always trying to, all right, well, I'll get them next time, or all right, well, I'll work a little bit harder so I'm more prepared, or I'm going to do X, Y, and Z so that they see that I'm doing more that I need to do. Um, I'm a super go hard person just by nature. So it all starts with controlling what you can control.
Right.
I can't control whether Mickey Loomis, who's the GM at the Saints, still to this day, is going to be talking to Sean Payton about, hey, man, we got to get 16 on the field. I can't control that. I can't control
Right.
whether my receiver coach is standing on the table saying the same thing. I can't control whether the 6 receivers that were in front of me were going to stay healthy or somebody's going to go down. I couldn't control any of that. But what I could control is my approach, my attitude, my effort, all those things for me are like pertinent to the amount of success or the potential for success. And I think it goes beyond football, right? That's just life in general. Like
For sure.
people who freak out about things that they can't control, while I understand it, I wish that they did not. Because it's wasted energy. It's negative energy. It's something that you're spending time on when you could be spending time on bettering yourself or getting prepared for an opportunity. And that is, it's always easier said than done. I get that, but the same that you've got your alpha 5, I've got something called the champion's mindset.
Mm,
And the champion's mindset starts with your attitude and
mm.
controlling what you can control and your effort and your energy. Like those things to me are super duper important for somebody that's goal or goals involve success.
Yeah.
Because if you're worrying about the wrong things, like I said, that's time wasted or time that you're not spending getting ready for success.
That's so good. And here's what got me over the last few years. Like, it sounds so cliche, but it's so true. Like I was coaching high school and I was preaching the same thing. We're going to focus on what we could control, our attitude, our effort, and our preparation. Like, and then I got to the XFL. I'm at Toledo helping. But like, it's just because it is what it is. You know what I mean? A lot of people focus on worry about their boss or what they think of them or why can't they get this raise or this or that. But it's like focus on what you can control and the rest will take care of itself. So I love that mindset of yours because it's so true in whatever we do. And when I really went back and thought about, okay, like how did I make it to the NFL or how did I get there? How did I build a couple businesses and sell them? Like it goes back to those things. It's like pursuing your passion. What's your state of mind? You got to lock in. What's the playbook, like your plan? You got to have a plan, right? The right habits, discipline, all that. You got to have the plan in place. And then when you're on that journey though, you're going to hit a roadblock. I mean, it's inevitable anything you do. So I believe that's where the mental toughness, the perseverance, building, being more resilient. And then at the end, it's always like having that sense of gratitude, but also like you're doing now, you're coaching the younger generation. Like it's about helping others along on their journey because you've experienced so much in so many different situations that I just feel like that's like the path to success is those levels. And it's easier said than done for sure. But it's unbelievable to see what you've accomplished in your career being way back to that St. Francis, PA visit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm confident enough in myself that back then I would have told you I was going to be successful. I couldn't have told you in what, but I would have said, "Look, man, I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna be a successful person, no matter what it is. I'm gonna find a way." That's just kind of how I was raised.
Mhm.
And it might have something to do with the martial arts and the dojo and like the focus, the discipline, the determination, like that you learn at a young age. I was 3 years old when I started karate, and so the self confidence has always been there. And I look, I get it. I know that it's not everybody's not born with those traits. I
Right.
understand that people have different personalities and different ways of dealing with adversity, and I know it's not some cookie cutter thing when I say things like you need to be confident or you need to fight through the adversity. Like it's not that simple for everybody.
Right.
But hopefully people listening can understand that you and I and all successful people haven't gotten to where we've gotten in life easily. There's always going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be things that you have to deal with or navigate through, and being able to figure it out and navigate those situations will kind of determine your level of success. But it's a lot of times people were like, you play football for a living, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I do play football for a living, but do you know what goes into that? Do you know what I had to go through to get to this point? Do you know what I deal with on a day-to-day basis? Like,
Right, right.
you just see me on Sundays dancing in the end zone, and you think it's sweet and easy, right? But there's so much more that goes into it. And I feel like looking at people who are successful, sometimes people are a little bit envious, or people are like, wouldn't want to be that guy.
Right.
But you don't know the battles that they're fighting. You don't know the things that they've had to go through to get to that point. And so whenever, somebody hits a bump in the road and they put their head down, I'm like, come on, come on, come on. You got it. You got it. Like,
Mhm.
and I can say that because I've been that person. I'm still that person. I'm still trying to get in contact with college players and not able to touch base with them. Like, and I'm like, why is this happening? Like, they should see my name and automatically know this guy played. I want
Right.
this guy to represent me, but it's just not that simple. And I'm having to learn on the fly. So it's we're always going to face situations. There's always going to be things that don't go our way. But then what? For me, it's just one foot in front of the other. Keep gaining ground and figure it out. And that's how I choose to live my life.
That's so good. That's so good. And it's funny too, because since you're my brother and like I can look at your path now and I'm like, there's no doubt in my mind. Like when you got the agent certificate and you're approved by the NFLPA, I'm like, Lance is gonna crush it because I know the type of person you are, and I know you're genuine to want to help guys in their career, on their journey. And you've also been there. You've been in their shoes. So it's easy for me from the outside to look and be like, dude, it'll work out, but you live in the grind. And I love what you said because a lot of people they see that billionaire and think, oh man, he got all kinds of money. He was born into it. Hey, some are. But then there's those ones though that have earned their way up. And like you said, they see you dancing on Sundays. They don't know that flight you're on to Fresno helping coach at Toledo because you got cut from the Browns. You're unsure and in limbo. They don't know the times with the Saints when you're hurt, you're trying to battle through injury, get back on the field and win a job. They don't know what it takes to study one of these big playbooks and learn everything you have to do within it. And that was one of the biggest things I've learned from you is at Toledo, we're freshmen, true freshmen. And Rob Spence, our offense coordinator, at the end of practice says, hey, Lance Moore, come up here, break the offense down. And I'm like, looking around, I'm like, dang, Lance is so small. Like this little dude, he catches everything. He lines up right every time. He knows exactly what to do. I'm struggling picking up this offense. I'm like, how does he do it? Well, every time I came back by your room in the dorm, you're studying. Boom, you're studying. You're sitting there studying. So when I got drafted in the 6th round of Tampa Bay, and John Gruden and I are meeting, I thought of you because I'm like, you know what? I can control this. I always thought working hard was physically working hard, being on time, crushing the workouts, all that. Then I learned at Toledo from you, no, working hard's mentally working hard, studying, understanding your playbook, your job description, whatever your job is that you have to do. And, that's a compliment to you. So, but you talked about the black belt, and I was just thinking this. If you and Mike Tyson got in a fight, you think you could whoop his butt?
No.
No, street fight though? I mean, he's a big dude. I think you're a little quicker. You can
No way, bro. Mike Tyson? Are you crazy? He would knock my head off of my shoulders.
Yeah, that's so good. No, I appreciate you, brother. But I was thinking about this too. If you had an opportunity to go to dinner with a historical figure, past or present, who would that be and why?
I think you already know my answer. Who do you think I'm going to say?
I don't know if I know.
You don't. Oh, man. Kobe Bryant.
Oh,
100%. 100%.
my
I mean,
mind
like,
went to basketball, but I was like, is it Jordan?
no, No, I mean, we grew up in the 80s and 90s, so obviously we are Jordan fans. But for whatever reason, I was from the time that Kobe was a rookie, I was drawn to him, and I was
Mm,
never a Lakers fan. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I didn't care about the Lakers, but his even before like the Mamba mentality was a thing, I'm like, this dude is different. Like the confidence that he exudes, how hard he works. People always talk about the workout that he had with the Boston Celtics when he was 18 years old and how he killed it. Um, you know, I have always been a fan, or I always was a fan of his. And then you get older and you learn more about the guy as he's kind of getting further and further into his career and then into retirement. But the Mamba mentality is like a real thing,
mm,
and a guy who obviously legendary as far as how he works, and somebody who I think epitomizes control what you can control. um,
absolutely.
as great of a player as he was, he turned into a great businessman, a great father of daughters. I mean, like he is somebody who I would have loved to sit down and have lunch with and just kind of pick his brain, on entrepreneurship, on people in
Mm.
general, and navigating. And I mean, he was somebody that I'm when he passed, I shed tears. You know what I mean? Like I had met him one time, 2008 NBA All-Star Weekend was in New Orleans. And one of my old business managers, who was from Philly, like Kobe, introduced me to him. And it was nothing more than like a what's up handshake. And then I kept it moving. But I was like, man, like that's greatness right there. And I'm happy that I got to touch a piece of greatness. And yeah, I mean, Kobe is my guy,
Mm.
like through and through for sure.
It's so good. I mean, unbelievable. So I showed a few of Kobe Bryant's videos during XFL this year to the Battlehawks, because when he talks about failing, he says failure doesn't exist, because no matter if you scored 40 that game or 0, you still got to wake up the next day and do the work. And every day is its own day, and you got to continue to prepare. The only way you fail is if you don't learn something from it. And I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe when I failed in life is what helped me mold me to the person I am, and to be able to have that resilience, the mental toughness to persevere, to be able to go to the NFL and play 11 years in the NFL. And that's what you have too. So Kobe's so good. Now, real quick, 3 things you want to leave the audience if they're trying to achieve a goal or just want to get unstuck and take their game to the next level.
Yeah, like we talked about it, but the first thing is control what you can control. Put your energy into the here and now, and that's in your space, right? Don't worry about what other people are doing or saying. That's definitely super duper important. Two, be confident. And even if that confidence starts out as phony or false confidence, sometimes talking yourself into something will allow you to eventually become confident in it.
Right.
Like I've said it before, like fake it till you make it is like a real thing.
Right.
And it's all, some of it is perception based. So somebody sees you as confident, they might be like, oh, wait a minute, like this person, like they get it, like they know what they're doing, and you might not know what you're doing, you might not have any idea, but then you figure it out, and then that false confidence turns into confidence. And I would say don't be afraid. The third thing, don't be afraid to try new things.
Mhm.
That people a lot of times get pigeonholed or pigeonhole themselves, and they are afraid to think or see outside of the box or try something new or different. And you never know until you know. Like you never know what you be into or what you be great at until you try it. I never in my life would have thought that I'd be a sports agent ever. But after all of these years, here we are, we're 40. I figured out, like, you know what? I'm going to go in a different direction than most of my peers who go into media or coaching or scouting or, like all that world, which I wish you all the best of success. Like I want to be representing you. But I just, after all of the time and thinking about what could I do that I could wake up and be happy about, and I can touch other people, and I can help, kind of mentor younger players and give back to the game and give back to the younger generation. It just made the most sense. And now I'm proud to be where I'm at, but the work is just getting started, and I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I would definitely say, don't be afraid to think outside the box or try something new.
No, I love it, my man. So many good nuggets in that. Lance Moore, Saints Hall of Famer, best end zone dances pray ever. I mean, I'd be cracking up. I'm in Tampa, wherever I'm at, playing. My dad and mom are calling me, send me videos of your dances. So it's just what an awesome career. But it's because of the person you are, the habits you built, your mental toughness, all that. So it's awesome, bro. You're gonna be a great agent too. So give me a big job. All right, love you, bro.
I'm working on it.
Thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir.
The Alpha 5 Method podcast is about hearing your story. I want to hear from individuals that have overcame adversity. I want to hear their path and what has helped them achieve greatness. Go to my website now, alpha5method.com, and join the pack.